his anxiety. Oh. If he still can't manage it, he's going to look to other things to do it.
Right, self-medication. So, look who I have on camera again.
To all my fans out there, you know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to all your fans. And what did you just do?
I wrote an article. Actually, I just published an article called, I get brain fart.
Surprise, you're on camera.
I know. What are you doing to stop human and sex trafficking?
So
I just published an article.
Where is it published?
It is published, there's a URL. It's published in many things, actually. It's published in Psych Today, Jane Today, which is your general news topics on everything. You can go on Google and just, Google, what do you do? Sex trafficking, modern sex slavery, and...
How will they know it's your article?
Well, my name is, it's by Dr. Stephanie Sensel.
There we go.
So that would be me. But thank you, Joseph, protecting anonymity here, but no.
For what?
Anonymity, like, oh, you don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know me, but no. Anyway, that was one of my accomplishments, but even a bigger accomplishment is what Joseph has recently done. Why don't you tell them what you have done?
Yeah, turnabout's fair play.
No, I'm serious. That's
what I am
great.
doing? I am going back to school.
He's going back to
And
school.
I am going to complete my college from 15 years ago. I am going to finish my associate's degree in human services.
Yep.
And then my long-term goal is to become a physician's assistant. So I can work in a medical spa, which means Botox and wrestling, girls.
Music to my ears, right, folks?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Since there was like how many hits, 2,000 almost hits on the last video as to if I had plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So maybe I will clear the air there because there seems to be a lot of questions circulating as to what I've had done. For the record, I haven't had anything invasive done on my face other than a septal rhinoplasty,
Okay,
which
so-
is vulgarly called, so-called a nose job.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Now I do Botox, but I also do Botox for medical reasons. I actually have TMJ, and I do it for my sinuses because as a bilateral migraine sufferer, that's what I do. But, so I've
See,
done
I
that.
told you she'd tell you in her own words.
Oh yeah, I have nothing to hide. Listen, what you see is what you get. But as far as getting cheek implants, folks, no. And Joseph has seen me, my pictures many years ago. His son, Shane, has seen my pictures. I don't have cheek implants. I don't have lip implants. I don't have a chin implant.
But you're also part Colombian, right?
Yep, that's right. I'm Italian and Colombian.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Go, girl.
But that's, what I've had done to my face, which was non-invasive. The other stuff we don't have to get into, but yes. But anyway, so Joseph and I had talked about, folks, and I guess this will be the true test of whether or not we'll get the hits on it, is to start our own talk show.
Yeah, but what would the topic be tonight?
Well, we could talk about a lot of things. I mean, what comes up? We were talking about sex slavery, modern sex trafficking. And, folks, wake up. It is the 21st century, but it does exist. And
Well, I think you can tell that in, how the porn is changing, though. All of a sudden you have, all of these people in porn that are young and Russian or whatever heritage from that part of the world, and they're in these pretty raunchy experiences.
That's true. And, to add to that, the fact is that these women that are abducted by their sex traffickers, I want to tell you something, okay? These traffickers, they're very skilled. The girls, because they know they're going to work out of, the country, a different country, they don't have papers, they're going to work illegally in different countries, okay?
Right.
They lie to the customs, folks. So they make it easy for these traffickers to smuggle them, okay? To import them to other countries.
But don't how do they pay them off, though? I mean, they got to pay, somebody's getting paid.
Oh my God.
That's bullshit.
Well, here's what happens. They take them. I mean, these girls get sold at cafes. They get sold. No, I'm serious.
I'd like a latte and a virgin, please, or a virgin Bloody Mary. Can I have one? Thank you. Yeah.
Table of two, saucer of milk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true. These girls, they are promised, okay, they're lured by the fact that they're going to get a good paying job. And to them, to get out of Russia or the Ukraine, okay, or the Republic of Moldova, which is where a lot of these women are recruited, these young girls, even minors under the age of 18, are recruited.
It's insane.
Yeah, they believe they're going to get a good paying
Who's that?
job.
But I mean, I just envision these people, with money and power, but no social skills whatsoever, so they can't date anybody. Or like some people just envision like some fat pig. You know what I mean? But it's not just some fat pig because of the money.
Hell yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
it's like some businessman who doesn't want his wife to know, who's got a kink and a perv on the side, doesn't want his family to find out what. I mean, somebody's got to pay for him.
And Joseph, you know what you just hit on? Something called sex tourism.
Yeah.
Sex tourism, folks, people traveling from America, the U.S. alone, to participate in, the sex trade, okay?
I know people that have gone to Thailand because they could get transgendered people or young boys over there.
Yeah, without protection. They get the total girlfriend experience.
Yeah, it's scary to me.
And it's true. And here's the thing, folks. These girls or boys, okay, that are forced into sex slavery are having sex with 10, 20, up to 30 people a day.
Ugh, yuck. God, wouldn't it be bad enough to put up with one boyfriend, hell alone having to screw 30 people a day because that's your job?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
thanks. I'm on my coffee break.
Yeah, imagine that. I mean, being told when to eat. And, the thing is, why don't they escape? Why don't they run away? They can't escape. Well, here's the thing, okay? You're held captive emotionally, physically. You're raped, gang raped. You're tortured. You're burned. You're given electric shock. You're drugged.
Right.
Okay? And you're literally punched down in every domain possible: physical, psychological, emotional, sexual.
Right.
And you're told if you leave,
we'll kill you.
yeah, and your family and your friends, and don't think we don't know who you are. We have your freaking papers. We have your ID, your driver's license, your passport, your birth certificate. So these girls, these women, these boys, they're stripped of their identity, they're stripped of everything, and they're held captive, okay?
It's pretty crazy if you think about it.
And it does exist.
It's just odd. Like, nobody misses these kids. Nobody misses these people.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of these kids are runaways, and if they don't, if they're not reported or found within the first 48 hours, you can damn well bet they found a pimp.
The craziest story I was ever told. Well, that's hard to say.
Crazy for us or crazy for the world?
Yeah, crazy for the world, not crazy for us. I had a client a few years ago that came in off of the newspaper article, and she was this old gal, and she came in, she said, I read the newspaper, went and looked at your show, and you really look like a type of person I could talk to. And I'm like, cool, good to meet you, Well, she was 73.
You want me to grab that?
And had been a
Thank you, Shane.
runaway,
She'd been
got a pimp, and they followed the migrant workers that were picking for $20 a pop. You worked until
And imagine how many men she serviced, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, 10, 20, 30,
Yeah.
up to 30 a day.
a day, easy. And she says, and it was as quick as it sounds because they were the guys were that quick.
Yeah, they had a 15-minute break or whatever. They had to do it fast.
And she said they had a trailer that followed them around, and they got taken care of, and they got food and water and clothes and medical to look pretty and makeup and whatever. They got to keep them looking good, and a shower, but they had to do it and put out and work every day.
That's right.
And
they're
it was
top
funny
producers.
to talk to her,
Yeah.
and then to hear her discuss the situation. Like, I was pretty much blown away,
Oh, but it was very true. I mean, this is a 7.
No, we had a great chat. I mean, she survived through the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened to her pimp?
She didn't get that far into the conversation because I was more in the conversation about where she was at in her 70s. And where she was at in her 70s was husband number whatever it is.
Yeah.
And husband number whatever it is was wanting a threesome.
Oh.
And I'm like, seriously, at this age? And she's like, yes. And then I'm like, well, you guys should look on Craigslist or whatever. Everybody else shops there because she didn't know where to go.
Craigslist is the Walmart of sex trafficking.
Yes. I know that. So I told her that. You need to go check it out on Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
They actually found a partner. And the fun, see, now I have this sense of humor.
Was he like 80?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this sense of humor. Dr. Barbie. So she goes to a classy hotel, which is the Mush Inn Motel here in town, and we all know it is not classy.
That's where all the people go to get laid or
right,
cheat.
Or lit, or whatever they're doing in there. Like, it's the sleazebag hotel. And I said, oh my God, you would have gone to a nicer hotel. Aren't you worried about the clientele there? And she goes, oh, they can't afford it there. I mean, the clientele's pretty decent, because it was like $125 for the room. So that just dawned on me, my perspective and her perspective.
Heck yeah!
Could you imagine? So she grew up following the sex trade with the migrant workers as a runaway teen, managed by some pimp.
Yeah, she was
in America.
Yeah. She was taken at a young age. She was vulnerable. She needed a place to stay. Yeah, and in the U.S. alone.
And in her point of view, the Mush Inn Motel, the dive bar place of hell, was a decent hotel. Right there, I felt so sorry for her. And then she said the funniest thing I've ever heard anybody say, and I laughed out loud, so loud. She goes, you can obviously tell that this was a good place because you had windows on both sides of the room and you could get a good cross breeze going.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, because, the smell and the sweat and the nastiness all going on. You need a good cross breeze to knock that off.
Get rid of the sex.
I was like, I'm going to puke. I was laughing. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh that hard, but it's funny.
It's sad, isn't it?
It was horrifying.
You have to think, Joseph. I mean, here's a woman who's 73 and she's still alive. I mean, these girls.
Oh, believe me, looked every minute of it.
Oh, I bet.
Looked past the expiration date, the poor baby.
Rode hard and put up wet.
Oh, I don't even think she got put up wet. I don't think she got time to dry. I mean, time to do anything. She got rode hard and fell asleep in the middle of it. She's a hot mess.
And here's the thing, a lot of these young girls that are trafficked every day and forced to do these tricks, literally, a lot of them have AIDS. I mean...
She didn't.
Well, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, she didn't have HIV. I asked her that question. She didn't have it. She says she would watch some of the girls get the extra $10.
What?
To do it unprotected, and she wouldn't do that.
Well, she was smart.
Well, she just didn't think that she was going to be there her whole life. But it didn't matter because she'd watch the girls. I mean, for $10 whole bucks, to her, pregnancy, you'd have to. These girls are having back alley abortions, all supplied by the pimp, or the people traffic them if they get pregnant.
Yep.
If they get STDs, they still get used. The price goes down, but they still get used.
Right.
Or they get dumped. They can get killed. They get dumped. They're thrown away. She saw that. She didn't want that to happen.
Oh yeah, they're just things. They're commodities to be used, abused, and paid for. And
bought and paid for at a cheap price.
That's exactly right. And here's the thing, AIDS, HIV has advanced past the high-risk groups. We have people that are engaging in sex tourism, okay? And what's happening is that they're having sex unprotected with these young girls that have had 20, 30 men a day infected, and now they're getting infected. They're bringing it back to their families.
Right. One of the things that I learned doing HIV outreach was some of the statistics were so crazy that these women in their 55, 65-year-old age groups in heterosexual marriages and had been long-term married were getting HIV.
Yeah, they're showing up HIV positive.
One of the gals that I knew firsthand was a black lady, and she was getting sick, and they were testing her for everything. And finally, she didn't have any reason to, but she said, why don't you test me for HIV? And she tested positive, and she couldn't believe it.
Oh, because she had lived her life exactly, safe, clean, with one man, married, and
but
yet
she followed the rules.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Well,
And he didn't tell
the
her.
whole world's sexist anyway to make women submissive to men. I'd get sick of that shit. But so the men can run around and do all this crap, and the women know that they've got one at least home keeping the fire burning and going to put out when they get there.
And putting them at risk for death.
For death, exactly. All for a car and a mortgage and the words, I love you.
Oh, please.
I don't even think so.
I love me. I pay for all my stuff, and I don't need a man to validate me.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it all with my
makeup. Did you hear
makeup.
that, son? Yeah. I validate myself with my makeup. Yeah, that a girl.
And my plastic surgery.
Exactly.
Oh, but yeah, so that is not only scary, and then you have to talk about those that are trafficked. Oh my gosh. Here's something. Okay, do you remember back in the 90s, there was a girl that went...
Way back.
Yeah, there was a girl that went...
For the record, I'm much older than you are.
No, you're not. No, you're not. So there was a girl that went on a Caribbean cruise, and she went missing. And so, I mean, this was back in 1994, okay?
Yep.
And
didn't she get abducted into the sex trade or
yes,
something? Yeah, I remember that story.
Yes. Oh my God. Her parents, the FBI, the U.S. Embassy, they searched and searched. There were sightings of their daughter, okay, on escorts, services, escort places, and just online. They were looking for her daughter. They came across a picture of an aged picture. I mean, probably back in 2005, of what appeared to be her daughter. And her daughter had very distinctive bone structure, and
Right.
it was like, oh my God, you can't
Right.
miss it. And online, sales of escorts in the Caribbean, of all places.
It's just insane to me.
And you have to ask yourself this, Joseph. Okay, you're with your family, okay? Your family. You're all having a good time. That's what you're there to go on a cruise for, right? I mean, to the Caribbean. You're there to have a great time and celebrate and hell, drink and have fun and dance. And what has to happen for someone to abduct you in a second? I mean, don't you think it's an inside job? I would say it's a freaking inside job that someone spotted. There's a spotter. There has to be a spotter. Someone spots them.
I have
You
clients.
can use the same comb. I don't care.
No, I can't. Not without a bleach rag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I have clients that had shit happen to them on a trip, and they were spotted. I really believe that people work together to take advantage of them and steal their money and everything.
Folks, sex trafficking is around a $42 billion a year
Where did you get that
trade.
statistic?
Now, I got that from two statistics, the U.S. Department of Justice and the FBI.
Right.
But there's a lot more. Some will say it's up to $32 billion. The more it goes on, the more money it's going to make. It's a very profitable trade, however.
Right, sex sells, duh.
Sex sells.
I always argue with people because men are opportunists. Men will take the opportunistic role and get off. And my favorite part of that, in my opinion, is that it is the lower brain function and the biology of us. I mean, some of that will just take over and you're going to be blinded by animalistic instinct and they're going to go get laid and do whatever. But I also think that psychologically our culture's become so repressive that people have repressed so many, which would be, well, yeah, she's cute, but you're not supposed to be with her. Or, oh, yeah, he's cute, but you're not supposed to be with him. Fine. And people feel so guilty for even thinking, oh, he was cute. So they push it away, push it away, push it away. Eventually, some little thought becomes an avalanche.
Yeah.
And then these people are broken down by this shitty society of guilt and shame.
Yep.
And next thing you know, it comes flying out of them. And they rape, or they go buy a whore, or they buy some kid on the, blah, 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 blah. They're at the strip club and they stalk the bitch and take her home or try to kill her, whatever it is. Because that repressed shit, which was one little thing, which would have been normal to say, I think she's cute or not. Religion kicked in, society kicked in, whatever kicked in, they push it away. Mm-hmm. Now it's this giant pile that they get crushed under and they do something.
They stuff it and then they react.
Right. And that reaction to the victim, I mean, I hate the word victim, but people really become a victim.
They do.
You're really a victim of that. You didn't choose that.
That's right.
That wasn't voluntary. That wasn't two people having a consensual talk. That wasn't any of that. That was straight up, you got abducted, raped, beaten, abused, victimized. No way around it. And
it's so scary because it happened on a boat where they took her, and I believe she was abducted. I mean, they took her at the most, when they let their guard down. People were drunk, drinking, they were in the room sleeping, and she goes down, and then she's never seen again.
Right.
And yet there's spottings of her, with men or being bullied or controlled, and I mean, that scares me. So this happened when she was 23 or 24, and I mean, so you have spotters that say, "Oh, look, that is a target. They see her, they target her, they want her, they take her."
Right.
But that is just not her. I mean,
that's pretty organized.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty organized. That's not just corruption and power and capacity or ability. That's
That's making sure you have product.
Mm-hmm. And they have to know. I mean, if you want a product line, you have to have an inventory, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have a clientele, right?
Yeah.
So
the clientele's there.
Exactly.
Let me see. Okay, guys have penises, so therefore they're all clients. So there's always clientele. That's not the problem.
And here's the thing: in the Caribbean, what percentage of clients want those young American girls?
Probably a high percentage. And the other thing being that it's a vacation spot, and there's people that want to come there and go fuck around. There's married men that want to cheat. There's all these other things going on, and these people supply the You know, if there was no demand, there'd be no supply. I was always a big fan of, I try to understand economics. I was always a big fan of don't bust the hookers, arrest all the Johns.
Yeah.
The hookers will go away.
Yeah. They're just trying to, earn a living. I mean, and you want to know the thing? The sad thing is that...
I think they're smart if they manage themselves.
If they manage themselves. They don't need a pimp. Because when they have a pimp, the pimp takes 90% of it?
All of it, yeah, exactly. But if there are girls that are smart enough and they figured out, hey, I'm going to have sex anyhow, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to do all this kind of stuff, I mean, I have respect for that girl. The girls that are trapped in it that know they can get help and don't, I feel sorry for them, wish they could get it, appreciate where they are on their path.
Mm-hmm.
But the other people, I am like, you know better. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
They can protect you. They'll hire that son of a bitch or go get him and arrest him, throw him in jail, whatever it is.
Right.
You could get help. There's so many hotlines, there's so many whatever there is, websites. Go to the police station. It doesn't matter. But I really believe...
And that's our disclaimer, folks. We're not making judgment calls. We're not,
disclaimer.
Yeah, I'm serious. We're not doing that. We're not ostracizing. We're simply, delivering, communicating facts, statistics, and although very sad statistics, a reality of...
Well, and the other thing I think is that people out there hear it and they don't know what to do. And
yeah, they turn the other way because they don't want to believe it exists. And, these
They clean the street up right down the road from this shop. There's a park down the road from this shop here, not even a block, right up here. And it had people living in the park and prostitutes working.
Really?
And the ironic part was, right down from the sausage factory.
No pun intended.
Yeah, Alaska sausage, hey, some on the street, woo, right? And so what they finally started doing was not just busting the girls, because they are always going to show up somehow, or the boys, there was boys too.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska is not that far behind the world, there's trick there, everybody's hustling and tricking. But they started arresting the guys for stopping, started arresting, pulling them over.
Right.
The cops would wait, they'd go get them, they'd bust the people, not the girls. It moved, of course it moved, but it moved away from the sausage factory, but they were arresting the clientele. They were affecting the demand.
That's right. So if the demand's affected, so will the supply. But if the supply moves to where the demand is not tampered with as much. Okay?
Exactly.
Because that yields a
Or
profit.
it's endorsed by the local government, or because it's all crooked.
Yeah.
And they're making their $1 billion off of it. Hell yeah. Sad.
So people ask me, so what can we do to stop or prevent sex slavery? I mean, what can we do? Well, number one, education and awareness, right? Because these women that are coming out of different countries, Russia being the number one supplier, okay,
Right.
for sex slavery. A lot of these girls, I believe truly, Joseph, and some people will argue with me, some people will criticize.
Oh, somebody
that.
will always argue with you over anything. Fuck
And that's
that.
fine.
That's my
fine.
favorite part. Argue with me. I'll argue all goddamn day.
Yeah, be smart. Sit down, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that I believe everything starts in the home. And if a child, a girl, a boy has a good home life, okay? And not everything is going to be good, but when I say good means they feel they could come to their parents and talk to them. They feel they could be honest about their feelings, their sexuality. They feel they could talk to them about, oh, by the way, Mom, I want to get out of the Republic of Moldova. I want a better life for myself. I was offered a job. How many of them don't even go to their parents with that information? So what happens? They fall prey because they're lured by...
Right, but now you're talking complete cultural differences because of a different country.
That's true, there are cultural differences.
And the other thing you're talking about there too is socio-economic differences. We have a luxury still in America, even though it's a hot mess, that some of these countries do not have, and sometimes some of these girls see the only way they can have a better life is to get out, and the quickest way out is to have sex with someone.
The Republic of Moldova is one of the poorest countries in the world.
My point. That's my point right there. I might not have much to offer, but I'm cute and I'm a virgin, and that will get me the fuck out of here.
So let's talk about a segue into another conversation for us is, mail order brides.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've met a couple of those. I've had a couple clients that are mail order brides.
Tell me about that. That's interesting.
Well, what would you like? One of my friends...
Is it like a cookbook or a smorgasbord or something? You open it up?
Well, some really good friends of my mom and dad's ended up married, and she was a mail order bride, and they were both educated people. And the problem was that because of the education level, the expectation level is so high, or the career took over, and the male friend, he just didn't have time to cruise. And of course, he was not that he didn't party or have a drink or whatever, but like he wasn't going to take home the girl from the bar and then marry her. right? You see what I mean? Like, that wasn't going to work. Singles clubs, yeah, no, whatever. And somebody talked him into putting in a personal ad in a magazine, in a reputable magazine. And he put the personal ad in, and he had these 5 or 6 girls, I don't remember what it was, and they all responded. And one had a kid, one didn't, all of them had educations. And then in that whole process, and we got to see them all, because he would bring them through the lodge, right? And because we're going to see, it was awesome. Then my mom would be like, or, okay. And of course my dad was like, wow, you get how many? You know.
Yeah, your dad, yeah.
All he worried about was quantity, you know, wow, how wonderful, you get 1 a week, 1 a month, you know, how's that work? So, you know, tease joke, haha, whatever it would be. And me, what I really thought was really interesting was the diversity of these women, like smart, educated, single, never been married, divorced, with kid, all of them educated, you know, whatever it would be. They were married. And the one was single, great education, fabulous personality, and they totally hit it off. And eventually, they got married. And they lived together for a long time. They were really good friends, and really good friends of my parents, and did their thing for a long time. And then they moved away when I was a teenager. And we're still married. And I would probably guess married to this day. And so for them, it worked out great. And it was funny. See, that's why it's such a warped sense of view. My upbringing exposed me to so many things.
Yeah.
At a fabulous age. So, you know, mail order bride, that was no big deal. That was the neighbors down the street.
Yeah,
Hell,
yeah.
you know, big deal.
Right.
And then it works for them, you know, right? But I also had a couple girls that I've worked with, 2 of them, that were Russian women that got into the country as mail order brides. Got out of where they were, did the whole married for 4 or 5 years, miraculously found a reason to get divorced. Right? How miraculous was that?
Yeah.
I mean, you got divorced after 5 years. I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Is that what the contract was for?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they're here. Right?
And then they're here. They have their visas. Or they become U.S. citizens.
Yeah. Which is fine with me.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, you know, is mail order bride another form of sex slavery? You know?
I don't think it's slavery.
Sex
I don't
trade.
think it's slavery at all. But it's definitely sex trade.
Sex
but
trade.
so in white American culture is marriage, is my opinion.
Oh my gosh, just go, you know, Google Dr. Phil and mail order brides. How many guys, older men on there say, you know, they want...
There we go. We need to put some pink in there.
Break up the monotony of the blonde, huh?
Yeah, put some pink in there. Pretty fast.
Smile, you're on camera.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I got you on camera now. Shut up,
You're
right?
on camera.
She's been looking at the camera all day.
I caught the he has it under, was it Hing Sing Sao?
Did you get his
Breaking
face?
the fence. Well, you can see him look up at the fence, and you can see, or look up at the camera just barely, but you can see the chisel of this part of his face.
Right, they could probably amplify that if you send it to the
It's
police.
kind of blurry.
Why
but
was
you
he
can
breaking
see
the
it.
fence?
Well, see,
There's a
that
Patford McCoy thing going on with the neighbor, or the
Oh.
landlord of this building, and the landlord of that building. Big legal stuff going on.
Oh, Jesus.
because of the lot line is like there's no lot line, right?
No, there is now.
And so what
It's surveyed.
so what he did was, hey, that is not your property, it's my property, and you cannot have people parking in the back parking lot walking over my property.
Or putting snow on our property, because they were doing that too.
Yeah, they started putting snow storage on the property.
Oh, wow.
So they all started fighting it out. He's like, no, bullshit. And then he didn't remove the snow because why? Then it starts screwing up our parking lot. And so he has to remove the snow. They all piss and fight. So he's got all surveyed, all figured out exactly where it was, and put up a fence.
Yep. And
Well,
then-
they've got him on camera tearing the fence down.
You can see him like walking.
Oh, my Lord.
And he's got the snipper, and he's like snipping.
So he's on Dina's camera, right? She's got him
You've
on
been caught.
Yep.
Yeah, world's dumbest criminals.
That's true. You should send it in. World's stupidest criminals.
Yeah,
Dumbest criminals.
No, the stupidest one is Kelly, looking straight, watching me, washing hair as she's digging in my purse. She didn't even notice the camera was right there. She didn't care.
Jesus.
And you can zoom in on that too. You can see my purse straps.
Jesus.
I know, crazy.
That
thing.
takes guts.
Yeah, takes something.
No conscience.
No
Yeah.
conscience.
Takes some moxie.
I wonder if she was on medications because one of her clients, or one of my clients, who had her kids cut her hair. She said she was on the phone the whole entire time they were getting a haircut, and I was like, "Yep." Another sign she took her husband back. They were talking about drugs,
Oh, my God.
and I was like, "Are you sure?" And she goes, "Yes." She even described distinctively. I'm like, "Oh, great."
Sweet! That would explain it.
Well, that would explain how she got so much money, and she always never had money.
So what are they doing? Selling?
I have
Just
no idea.
drug trafficking.
And thank God she's not in here anymore, because it's none of my business what she does anymore, but, or what she says about me, I don't even care.
But it's still in the forefront of your mind.
Well, it kind of broke my heart. I thought she was my friend, you know?
Right.
When she didn't have anybody to take her out for her birthday, I took her out twice.
That's a good
You know,
friend,
and
yeah. You really
when
cared
she
about
needed
her.
anything, and I pushed clientele towards her, and I mean, I did all kinds of stuff.
So what you're suffering from is betrayal.
Yeah, again.
The again part right there is why you need counseling. But
I keep thinking, what is the common denominator with all these things? Oh, it's me!
good girl, that's
Good.
pretty brilliant.
Execute. I'm out of it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. God, that's the smartest thing I've heard you say in years. Good for you. Dina, there is some hope for
Well,
you.
what do you think it means?
Is your bra a little
It's a
looser today? Is blood making it all the way to the top of your head?
Oh, that's all.
I'm my mother's daughter. I'm just too trusting, but
And you know,
what? I'm
trust
not
is a
gonna
good
change.
thing. Trust is a good thing. It's just the people you trust.
I'm not going to trust them so easily.
Well, right. And if there's
You know what?
warning signals, one of the things that I've always learned, when this is always a good judge. It really is. When this starts giving me problems, I start talking here as fast as I can. Sometimes I'll slow down and say, wait a minute, what did you just say? What are you doing? Why are you, this will let me know what's going on.
You remember the story back in the 80s of a young high school girl, she was probably 17. She was best friends with some girls that she grew up with in elementary school. I mean, her mother was like their mother. The two girls, particularly those two best friends of hers, ended up murdering her.
Oh, what was that story?
That
Yeah.
was the Missy
Why would they do that?
Avila.
Yeah.
Well,
They were
These-
jealous of her.
oh, jealousy and insecurity spawn rage and anger, okay, all of this rage. Well, this young girl had, kind of blossomed into a swan of beauty, and they were very, very jealous of her. I mean, they accused her of stealing their boyfriends, sleeping with their boyfriends, and she wasn't.
She wouldn't have.
No, yeah. But one day, I guess they took her out to the park and they beat her up and they killed her. Yeah. But these are people that she had known for 15, 16 years. Yeah.
That's happening to me lately.
Yeah, be thankful that you're getting rid of those people, though.
Yeah, because I'm the common denominator. It's epiphany.
It is
But it's all good. I'm learning. Unfortunately, I had to learn thousands of dollars later.
Well, how much is a college education? Speaking of going back to college, I mean, some colleges can be $50,000 a year, Dina.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the best college? School of Hard Knocks.
School of life experience.
Yeah, best college you can ever get. So
Kelly's
whatever
not gonna
price
have a
it
very
was, you have a degree in.
Kelly's not going to have a very easy time getting a job in this town.
Well, that's not your concern.
No.
Because she was prosecuted?
Yeah, she was prosecuted, plus the whole product store knows and stuff. They keep asking and telling me what's going on,
Did you report her? Does that go against her license now?
I don't think it goes
No.
against her license.
Do you still want this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll use every strand.
Okay.
My God, that's $20 worth of hair.
Wow. Well, I guess they won't know unless you make a administrative, report against her or file an administrative complaint against her,
I'm waiting for the district attorney to figure out what to do. Because partly, it could be anybody's purse she's digging in, and it's cash. It's harder to prove than a check she'd go to a bank and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So if it's to go to jury, they may say, well, what if it's her purse? What if she all of a sudden there says that was my purse?
That's what I said. Where's your evidence? How you gonna prove it?
Do you have evidence?
Well, the only evidence I have is a letter saying she's apologizing. Finally, after the whole thing with her pastor of a church kept apologizing. That was really nice of you to apologize for her behavior, but there's no need for you to be sorry. It'd be nice if I got an apology from her. But she didn't want to give me an apology first. She said I should do it in person. I'm like, whatever, you're not going to see me in person ever again, so.
Yeah, and a lawyer would tell her, you dumbass, you should have denied it.
Yeah.
I'm serious, a lawyer.
Well, now she's not saying anything, because God forbid she let anybody know that she did steal. Her family still thinks I
amazing,
kicked her out. She's telling her clientele I just kicked her out for no reason. Yeah.
Well, then she can't admit what she did, and is she truly sorry?
No, she's not. She's oblivious to it. She thinks the reason why I kicked her out is because she took
It's
her
Heather.
man back.
Go ahead and
Care less.
answer.
It's the principle of what she did. The fact that, number one, she committed a crime. Number two, she severed and tampered with a friendship by...
She's been doing it for a while, and I kind of knew, but I couldn't prove it. Until one day, I don't usually have that much cash in my purse. And this time Rose gave me 3 months in advance cash for her, for rent.
Mm-hmm.
So she took a big lump of that, And I was
My
like,
gosh,
okay, now I
that's-
know I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, that's hard-earned money that, I mean, you've
I knew then.
worked for.
Hello?
Just a video, you cut some
Yeah?
of this stuff out.
I know,
I'll
cut
put
it
all
out.
on there.
No, you
Probably
won't.
8 or 9 o'clock.
Cut it out.
Why? What's going on?
Got some private information on here.
Check you out helping him out with
I
the
know.
strands.
He's got his own assistant too.
So awesome. I need my own assistant.
How long do you want it?
I like it like really long. Like this, maybe just a little bit off, like the ends.
Just trim, fix it up after it's all.
If I bought the hair, I'm gonna,
Hey, Dina, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go home white.
Will you go up to Mount Holland Chiropractic? Is Jessie there? Do you have jumper cables? She does in the car. Is he gonna give you a jump? Okay, kid. Yeah,
I don't have cables.
yeah, she's got cables. Okay. Alright, bye.
Big jump off.
Yeah. She got Dr. Foster's jumper instead.
Ooh, I'd like
Better
Dr.
offer.
Foster to jump me. Did I
Doctor.
say that?
Yeah.
Alright, y'all, I'm out here.
Bye. Be
Bye.
safe.
Bright and early.
Congratulations on the epiphany.
I know, and I just caught another person in crime. These video cameras come in use.
Hey.
Now
You know-
check the video for Brenna's boobs.
The more the more awareness you have to what's toxic in your life, the more you'll be able to get rid of it and spot it.
That's why I keep saying, oh, what's the common denominator? Me! I'm so trusting. Strike.
It doesn't mean become untrusting. It means just be
Right.
aware of what
Trust
you're
is a
doing.
wonderful thing. To be able to trust is wonderful, but it's the people that you allow to trust.
Just trying really hard.
Emotional
not to
guidance
get me-
system right here.
Trying really hard not to be bitter on all this because it has.
Well, you know what? Be bitter for a while and then get over it.
It's like going through a loss, a death.
It is kind of, and it's really consumed me.
Grief.
Like
Yeah,
pushed a lot of people away from it too, from that whole situation, and push them away. Going, who could I trust anymore? I feel like you're doing the right thing, and I keep telling myself, if you do things for the right reasons, it usually comes out right, right?
Well, when you get yourself away from what's bad in your life, the good is going to start appearing more so often.
I sure hope so, because I've been thinking I've been doing good, but for some reason I keep letting all these crazy people try
Now,
to
I don't think you let them in. They've already been there. You're starting to get better. They're still the same. There's nothing different about them. It's different about you.
I used to see light in Marna's eyes. She used to be a good person.
That doesn't matter. She's never been any different than she is now. She's always been subject to all that stuff and victim to all that usage and
That's the
Whatever.
problem, is the victim mentality. They get sick when they hear all that crap.
exactly.
Yeah, there's
Come on,
a
we've all had a shitty life.
yeah, the theory of victimology. I've had it. Nobody's had it worse than me. I'm
Oh,
entitled.
bleh.
It's a bunch of crap because believe it or not, they continue to victimize themselves and they actually believe this mentality.
No, and then they use it as an excuse for
That's
bad
right.
behavior.
That's
And
right.
you're the sick one. Everybody's had a bad life. I can't think of anybody who had a good life, or the perfect family, or
Right.
the perfect relationship.
I
or the
think they
perfect
should have
everything.
deleted the word perfect.
From the dictionary.
Yeah, because there's no such thing.
You're so
I want to use this
What
one
energy
first.
do you feel?
Oh, you want to use that? Okay.
Hopefully not
Yeah.
anger. I'm like, hearing
I feel
it.
your stomach energy.
I have some serious stomach issues too.
Well,
Well, no kidding, really?
let me tell you something. Digestive,
It's called anxiety.
pressure, anxiety.
I was even gonna leave my boyfriend this weekend.
Then you're not.
I can't at this point right now.
That's a whole nother layer.
What's
to this.
can't? What's can't?
Financially, I'm kind of strapped.
Oh,
For
So-
the first time.
so
For the first time ever, yeah. Usually.
if you kicked him out, then he wouldn't have a place
Oh,
to
no,
go.
no, I'm at his house.
Oh.
I have 2 properties, and neither of them I'm living in. One I rented out, and one's not livable.
No, I hear you.
So I need to plan this out like a chess game. Like think of this, not react. But right now my head has been clouded by Kelly, so I'm like, step back and I need to figure this out because I'm going to have to move all my stuff into a safe, secure spot. Then I'm only going to take enough to be a roommate for just a little while until I can build more finances. I'm not going to let this go down. I just can't react because then it's causing.
You should sell some of your damn toys that you purchased while you thought everything was good and then get new ones after it's all better.
No, me and eBay have it. My two pretty cars.
Yeah, you need to. That your finances aren't
How
just.
many
the
cars do you
situation.
have?
You know what I need to do is sell that one lake property. I have 5.
She's got a lot of toys.
That's
Mine-
nice.
I need to sell the lake property on the other side that has Marna's shit on it. That's gonna make her mad.
So what?
To
That's
build the foundation for the lake house.
one of the things about codependency is so beautiful is I don't want to make anybody mad. I don't want to hurt their
Oh,
feelings
she's gonna-
because
All her stuff's
that's
on
making
it.
you feel shitty. Yeah.
All her stuff's on it though. That's
Girl,
the
so
problem.
what?
She's gonna flip a noodle.
So big deal.
Are all these cars paid for?
Yeah.
Hope.
Oh no, she.
They're your
All paid
babies.
for.
Yeah.
They're all paid off. And they're all pretty. I have a Corvette, a Porsche, a VW van again.
A what?
A VW van again.
Oh.
That brings out my hippie side. I'm never selling that. They all cause a different purpose, but none of them I could drive except for the Dodge in the winter.
I want to know how many of them are going to go in the grave with you.
All of them. I'm going to be buried in them.
She'll mummify them.
That's my whole point. She's a Capricorn girl to the end.
Allow me
It
to
is
have-
all about the material possessions.
Allow me to have my midlife crisis, okay? I didn't have kids. It's still cheaper than...
Hey, people have cars, people have houses, people have
Yeah,
jewelry,
yeah.
people have plastic surgery, people have animals. I mean, it's whatever you
I have
choose.
all
Yeah.
except for plastic surgery, but I started Botox, so I'll look out.
Do you like it?
Actually, I love Botox.
When did you get it?
I've been doing it for a few years now, my forehead.
Wonderful.
When I told her, I want to be a physician's assistant, the
I'm
first
like,
thing out of her mouth, what do I
I know, because they can inject, all those great fillers and line reducers and erasers and
Yeah,
Right,
it's
and if I work
preventative
with-
care.
that's
if
right.
I work with an amazing dermatologist too, I can sandblast it right off your face. Clean it up, help with all the chemical applications and treatments and all of it.
You make big
And
dummies.
or as a physician's assistant, I could work with a cosmetic surgeon.
That's right.
All of it. Yeah, there's never-ending opportunities
Plastic surgeons.
there.
If you happen to be a plastic surgeon and you're watching this,
She just wants to make the fans happy and really have it done.
You're
Yeah.
gonna cut some of this stuff, right?
What?
You're not gonna play the whole video. You're gonna have to do cuts and put big.
Well, who
side
knows what we'll
cuts.
put on there?
Oh, goodness.
There's lots of good material on there. I might just edit it out towards like, Kelly, you're a fucking bitch, and Myrna, I hate you. Oh my God, that's the best part of the whole video right there. And I'll put it on their page.
I have tried really hard not to say hate through that whole thing.
You don't.
Do you? No. Do you?
Yeah, I do say. Well, I don't hate them. No, I don't. No. No, I feel sorry for them. I do, because they lost a good friend.
What did you lose?
They ruined a good
I
thing.
didn't lose. I lost.
You
stress.
gained something.
I'm not stressed anymore, because I always seemed to be there when they needed me, and I'm not now. Now they're.
There are givers and takers in this world.
No, they're definitely takers. Marna's the kind of person that only has people in her life that will benefit her needs. Like,
Did you know that?
no, yes,
But you still continued to support her.
because, and I always stomped my foot when I wasn't allowing certain behaviors, but yeah, I always stomped my foot. And that's when she would get mad. She'd throw fits. Oh my gosh, that girl can throw fits. That's Joseph. He used to hang out with her.
Long time ago.
Who is this person? This is not the one that worked here, is it?
Mm-mm.
No, that's Kelly.
Okay.
Marna's, she can be a good woman, but she's on a lot of medications, and so she's distorted in her head. So
You know, it
she's
doesn't matter if it's
paranoid.
prescribed or not, it's still drugs and it still has the same effect on the brain.
It's true. So she's paranoid all the time.
Yes,
She's seeing things,
yes.
but in
She's
her mind, it's
over-medicated.
normal.
And she's still, and 10 to 1. Is she still drinking?
Yeah.
Of course.
Drinking with pills don't go.
Contraindicated.
Yeah, exactly.
But she seems normal, except for sometimes she'll have bouts of crazy. Like literally, we'll be at a nail salon, and some guy did it wrong, so she's, grabs my hand, she grabs the whole entire salon, she's screaming, he's screaming us out the door, and those situations
Oh
never
my
happen,
God.
usually around
That's
anybody
very
but her.
unnerving.
So I'm like, and I own a salon, so I think, okay, what was the situation? I didn't even see it coming. I almost felt like kind of went shut down, because I go into shutdown mode when she does that. She goes crazy, just snaps. Like she'll be totally ignore them and snap. But I think it's the medications. I think people on medications do that.
But after a period of time, I've just experienced this myself, when they reach that point, people on the medication and the behavior all become one. So what you're doing is you're hanging on to a friend that doesn't exist anymore, that's buried underneath all this
She lost
stuff.
her right.
Yeah, and you can't do anything about that. You can't rescue her out from underneath that. And the other thing you're grieving is you're grieving the loss of that friend right in front of your face without the friend dying. Like you go through this whole process. If they would have died and would have went to a tombstone, you would have had something to deal with the whole time. But you don't. You see a little piece chip away over and over and over again, and you have to deal with the grief of that. And you're hanging on to something that doesn't exist anymore. That's really what you're grieving.
It's just too bad.
You're not grieving that she treated you like shit. You're grieving that the person you're acquainted with and you remember never would have treated you like shit. And you can understand why your brain works enough to listen to what you're rationalizing. Oh, it's the drugs, it's the alcohol, it's all of this stuff, so it's legal, so it's whatever. And you're forgetting something. As time marches on, we all change, regardless of the motivation. So she's not only has all of those influence, which are affecting your trust. Is it her? Is it the medication? I don't know what to trust.
I don't trust her anymore.
Right, and so pretty much it all gets balled into one. I don't trust her anymore. Which, good. If it's a trust violation, then you need to,
I need to figure out why I keep choosing people that I don't trust. Or not.
But you didn't. You missed the whole point. The whole point was she evolved into a person.
That are telling me something's not right, because I knew something wasn't right with Kelly. I knew something wasn't right, but I still ignored those feelings.
How long did you know something wasn't right with Kelly?
Oh gosh, years.
But how come, if you knew that, how come you didn't listen to that?
Because I grew up in Mountain View, and I'm used to being around a lot of people that are kind of sick, you know,
So you
including my family. You know,
you
so
accepted it.
I accepted it, and I figured she wasn't hurting me, so, you know, until I
Oh.
caught her. And then I knew something was going on, 'cause she kept accusing other people of stealing, but it'd been going on for a while with products, with money, but I knew something wasn't right. But
Oh, and just to be clear, by the way,
what?
I don't know why, and I really, really, really up until had hunted everywhere, and we went through this whole thing, but I found what I was looking for.
Where was it?
Well, somebody put it back in there after it was gone because we tore that apart and took it apart. And
What
that
is
was
that?
after I raised hell about it too.